Drake Maye put the league on notice in Week 5 with a lights-out performance against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. He didn't throw a touchdown, but passed for 273 yards on 30 attempts, and led an electric game-winning drive to give Buffalo their first loss at home in over a year and a half. This game served as confirmation to the national audience of what Patriots fans know has been true for 5 weeks now. Drake Maye isn't just a project with a lot of potential anymore. He's a gunslinger, with the arm talent to back up his arrogant playstyle and the poise to keep his offense rolling, even when the defense takes the downfield shots away. On this 3rd and 10 from back in Week 1, New England called a cross-dig concept that you're going to see a lot of today, and Vegas showed a pre-snap cover 1 look that will become cover 2 post-snap. This concept is intended to function like dagger, where the inside receiver clears out the deep middle defender and the outside receiver gets into the space vacated by that defender over the middle. But instead of calling for a pure clear out divide route from that inside receiver, teams will often call for a more rounded crossing route so that he's an option if the deep middle defender positions himself in the throwing window of that dig route. Vegas does a nice job of matching the downfield concept post-snap. The strong side hook defender passes the crossing route off to the deep middle hook defender and positions himself in the throwing window of that dig route. Most quarterbacks would just check this down to Stephon Diggs underneath, but Maye fires a missile to Kayshon Boutte's back shoulder just outside the reach of the strong side hook defender for a gain of 24 yards and a conversion on 3rd and long. This is an ultra aggressive throw, and decisions like this are all over Maye's tape. Here, in Week 2 against Miami, it's 3rd and 6 from the Miami 16-yard line, and the Dolphins show a zero blitz look with 7 defenders in the box. Pre-snap, Maye sets the protection to ensure that a possible free runner would come from off the ball, giving him enough time to target Kayshon Boutte out wide on a go route. Miami ends up dropping out of this heavy blitz look, but Boutte is still isolated out wide, so Maye just gives him a chance on 3rd down. Maye's aggression leads to big plays like these, but that aggression is only an asset if it can be controlled. And Maye already demonstrates a healthy balance between aggression and restraint in calculating his shots downfield. Take this 2-play sequence from Week 3 against Pittsburgh as an example. Here it's 2nd and 12, and the Steelers present a clear cover 3 look. They deploy a single high safety shell and put a cornerback over a tight end out wide, which almost always indicates zone coverage. Josh McDaniels calls a concept that he's been calling for decades, known as Hoss. It's basically verticals from empty with a juke route from the number 3. But the outside receivers are coached to break back to the ball against off coverage. Against a cover 3 look like Pittsburgh is in here, the outside receivers should hold the wide corners, and the number 2 receivers attack the seams. Pre-snap, the post safety is cheating heavily toward the weak side of the formation. So post-snap, Maye targets the strong side seam route. Darius Slay has seen this a million times, so he's there to contest at the catch point, but this is a well-placed, aggressive throw from Maye. His receiver just didn't make the play. That incompletion brought up 3rd and 12, and on that 3rd and long play, New England called a dagger concept with a wheel route behind the dig. Post-snap, Pittsburgh brings one of the 2 deep safeties down to play cover 3 buzz. The wide corner up top has inside help from the safety with this inbreaker, so he can peel off in favor of the wheel route, and the linebacker responsible for the middle hook isn't dragged away from the middle of the field by the divide route, so the downfield concept is taken away. The coverage won here, but Maye didn't force anything. He attacked the soft zone with a check down underneath, and was 1 yard away from being rewarded with a conversion on 3rd and long. Maye's willingness to take the check down when the coverage wins downfield is a huge asset. It creates plays like this one from just a few minutes later in that Week 3 game against Pittsburgh. Here, it's 3rd and 13. And New England calls a cross-dig concept, similar to the one you saw on the last play. It tells the number 1 to run the deep dig route, the number 2 to run a wheel route, and the number 3 to run a crossing route. Pittsburgh calls cover 3 buzz again, and this time Maye wants to take the shot to the dig route. Post-snap, the pass protection allows the concept to develop, and the linebacker responsible for the hook over the middle triggers on the check down underneath. That opens up the window for the dig route behind him, and Maye hits Kayshon Boutte on that dig route for a gain of 20. Maye is a gunslinger. His desire to push the ball downfield is evident on the tape, but he doesn't force those shots. In fact, his numbers would lead you to believe that he's a conservative passer. His deep throw rate of just 7.2% is the lowest in the league among qualifiers. But when he does take shots downfield, he makes them count. 8 of Maye's 11 deep pass attempts so far this season have resulted in completions. When throwing deep, he ranks 2nd in completion percentage, 2nd in yards per attempt, and 1st in passer rating. Maye is an aggressive passer in just his 2nd season as a starter. Defenses should be able to force him into bad decisions with disguised coverages and blitzes. But when defenses do throw ambiguous looks at him, Maye does not fold. Take a look at this 4th down play from that Week 3 game against Pittsburgh. It's 4th and 2, and the Steelers show a cover 1 look pre-snap, which is no surprise because man coverage is typical in 4th and short situations. Stefon Diggs' motion pre-snap seems to confirm the man coverage call, but Pittsburgh is actually in cover 2. Maye is quick to process the unexpected coverage rotation post-snap and fires it over the middle to Hunter Henry in the soft spot between the 2 deep safeties for a 16-yard touchdown. When the concept includes an answer to a disguised coverage like it did here, Maye will usually take it. But when he doesn't have an answer right away, he can create one by extending the play. Here, on Sunday night against Buffalo, it's 3rd and 7 late in the 3rd quarter. The Bills present a pre-snap man coverage look, and New England has a great answer for the man call. They put Demario Douglas in motion from out wide, and that creates a miscommunication between the wide corner and the nickel. Tre'Davious White interprets the motion as a change in his assignment from Douglas to the stationary number 2, Kyle Williams. But Taron Johnson, the man originally responsible for Williams, doesn't read it that way. That creates a blown coverage over the middle with Douglas wide open. But Maye's eyes aren't there because at the snap, Terrell Bernard made it look like he was going to drop into the middle hook before blitzing. This was a great call by Josh McDaniels because it forced a missed assignment by Trey White, but it was also a great call by Bobby Babbage because it got Bernard in free. This play should be dead when Bernard gets in, but Maye rolls out to extend and finds Diggs on the sideline to convert on 3rd and long. There has been noticeable growth in Maye's trust in Josh McDaniels' offense over the course of the season too. There are 2 plays, one from week 2 and one from week 5, that really illustrate this growth. Here, in week 2 against Miami, it's 3rd and 7, and New England calls the cross-dig concept you've already seen many times, with a stop route from the isolated X receiver on the weak side. As soon as Maye sees Miami roll into a single high coverage here, his eyes should go to the stop route out wide. But his desire to push the ball downfield gets the best of him as he sits in the pocket and lets the rush get home. In week 5 against Buffalo, Coach McDaniels called the same play in a similar situation. The concept calls for a cross-dig combination on the strong side of the formation with a stop route from the isolated X on the weak side. Buffalo shows a single high safety look pre-snap, which means that Kayshon Boutte is isolated out wide. Post-snap, Maye confirms the single high look and wastes no time in getting the ball out to Boutte, which leads to a conversion on 3rd and long. Now, there is still room to grow for Maye, mainly with his footwork inside the pocket. He's very eager to step up, which can be a good thing. In week 2 against Miami, he stepped up to avoid the rush and got the ball out to his running back on a wheel route to pick up 55 yards. He's a really good athlete who can evade pass rushers, but there's a lot of unnecessary movement on his tape too. Here in week 1 against Vegas, New England calls their favorite cross-dig concept with a wheel route behind it, and Maye can probably make this throw to the dig route against cover 2. But as he sets up to target the dig, he steps right into pressure, and the contact at the release point leads to an inaccurate ball. He just tends to get jumpy in the pocket. On this 3rd down in week 5 against Buffalo, the Bills show a pre-snap man coverage look that'll roll into cover 3 buzz post-snap, and they rush 3 with a spy. Look at how the 3 pass rushers direct their movement post-snap. Nobody's trying to win around the edge or contain Maye in the pocket. They're begging him to roll out, because when he does, there's a spy there to chase him down. Maye unnecessarily leaves the pocket before the downfield route concept develops, and the spy gets to him for a sack. Through 5 games, Maye has taken 17 sacks, second in the league to only Cam Ward, and the Patriots' offensive line has been pretty good in pass protection. Maye has been pressured on 34.6% of his dropbacks so far this season, which is a below average pressure rate, but he's been sacked on 17 of his 65 pressures, for a pressure to sack rate of 26.2%, 3rd highest in the league. Maye's difficulty in avoiding sacks honestly makes his efficiency even more impressive in a way because he's playing this well without sack avoidance. It's really rare to see a quarterback rank so high in EPA per dropback, but so low in pressure to sack rate because sacks are so negative in terms of value. But in order for him to take that next step into the top tier of quarterbacks in this league, Maye needs to improve his senses in the pocket. But that's why AFC teams should be scared. He's already a borderline top 10 passer in this league, and he hasn't even touched his full potential. It was a fun 5 years, but the Patriots are back. And as long as Drake Maye is under center, they aren't going anywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed, please show some support by subscribing to the channel. That's the best thing that you guys can do to help me continue putting tons of hours into making these videos. But that's all I've got for now, so until next time, take care.